All right. Now, here we go. If you are watching at this point, I do want to give you the official warning that we are going to be discussing the leaks that happen online. These might spoil the movie of Black Panther 2, Wakanda Forever. So please keep that in mind. I've also said that, it is very possible that Marvel might change their mind on some things. It has happened before. They have changed their minds and changed movies, plots, and scripts because of previous links in the past. So it would not be unheard of if these leaks might influence that. It's not. So, again, the same time, these leaks, I'll just say, could be true. And if they are true, um, it could spoil the movie for you. But let me also say that while I am, if you followed my channel and if you're new here, I don't like spoilers. I am not a fan of spoilers because I really do believe that people should enjoy movies the best way they can. And usually that's by knowing as little as possible. As long as you know enough to be interested in seeing the movie, you don't need to know everything about the movie because sometimes there are surprises, sometimes there are things in there that'll help you have a better movie going experience. However, now, despite making a poll online, and out of both polls, I did one on Twitter, I did one on YouTube. 70% of y'all said, "No, we gonna get into this nitty gritty," mainly because of the recast T'Challa movement and what it means. So not only do I want to respect the fact that this is what y'all want to hear, but I also want to respect the fact that this movie means something to people. This franchise means something to people. And I want to reiterate the fact that, movies are not just for entertainment. A lot of times, movies will influence real life. Movies inspire people, movies touch people, and the first Black Panther movie, whether you're on the it's overrated board or not, if you're on that train or not, you cannot deny the fact that the movie still had a deep cultural impact. It meant something to a lot of people, especially in the Black culture, in Black communities. So, because that movie, and by the way, if you want some more proof and evidence that movies matter, just go back to the 1920s with a little movie called Birth of a Nation. Yes, Birth of a Nation. That movie was heralded as a cinematic masterpiece and an innovation in the movie industry. It was so good, according to people, that they even screened it in the White House. And in case you didn't know, the original Birth of a Nation movie spurred and inspired and encouraged the KKK. Right. So that's how influential, that's how powerful that movie was. That movie was it touched so many people, they started donning white hoods. Okay. So when people talk about, well, it's just the movie, it's just entertainment. No, it's just a movie or entertainment just to you. But that doesn't mean that's not the case for other people. Okay. So if you feel indifferent about Black Panther, you're fine to feel that way. You don't have to be, part of it. That's fine. But don't deny the fact that it still means something for other people. Okay. So with all that said, again, that's your final warning. We're gonna talk about it. And as we get into it, like I said, this might spoil the movie for you or not, but you've been warned already. All right, let's go to all right. Now let me also mention this because I know that there are some people who are coming on to here for the very first time and they're like, why are you wearing this shirt? What is this recast T'Challa thing? Marvel already said no. What are you talking about? Well, let me first encourage you all to go and check out the Recast T'Challa petition. And real quick, you can find that on change.org/recast T'Challa. And I'm not going to go through the whole thing. The whole point of it, for anyone that is just, coming in and you just don't know what it's about, it's very simple. Recast T'Challa is not a call for an immediate recast. It's not preventing anyone else from taking up the mantle of Black Panther. It's only asking Marvel Studios not to use the tragic passing of Chadwick Boseman as a plot device, as a story point, as an element in their narrative, in their fictional storytelling. Recast T'Challa is only asking for the portrayal of T'Challa to be allowed to continue in the MCU. That's all. Okay? So I just want you to understand that's what this is about. I also want you to understand that, and there are certain things that I can talk about and there are certain things I can't talk about, but I'm pretty sure you guys can read between the lines. A lot of the stuff that we're about to cover are things that I will say they were part of my concern. They were part of the reason why I had to start this movement, because of some of the things that we're about to talk about. And if you've been following me for this amount of time, you know some of the things that we're actually going to talk about, I've mentioned as a potential. I've talked about that this could happen. And I've gone into depth as to why these things would be problematic as well. We've covered this stuff at length. So again, if you're new here and you don't know why people are saying recast T'Challa, you don't know why people are in here, I encourage you to go watch all of my other videos. Literally, just type in recast T'Challa on YouTube, watch my channels, you'll see how I cover this stuff. For the sake of this conversation, though, I do want to preface one thing. So let me grab this, because I do want us to just remember. I want us to remember one thing Marvel actually said, and that was from lead executive producer Nate Moore. That's him right there. This is what he said for Black Panther 2 in regard of not recasting T'Challa. Okay. So I want y'all to kind of listen to what he had to say, and then we're going to go into the leaks right after that.
Wakanda Forever. How is it going on set? And how are you going to spend all this time now? You guys are going to be home for the holidays, right?
No, it's good. I mean, there's plenty for us to be doing, and Coogler's back, and he's a great partner. And, I think this movie has a different sort of pressure on it, obviously with the loss of Chadwick, which was unexpected and unprecedented in a way narratively to figure out how to deal with. So beyond, hey, we want to make a big fun time and people love the first movie, it's how do we sort of do right by his legacy, and tell a story that isn't exploitative, which we would never ever do, but builds on the things that he loved about the property and builds on the things that he brought to the property, in a way that is enjoyable, feels real, feels earned, feels organic, because I think people are going to see the movie in two lenses: pure entertainment, but also cathartic. And we have to be conscious of both of those lenses as we're making it.
So I wanted you to hear all of those things straight from Marvel themselves. Straight from Marvel themselves. You don't want to exploit Chadwick. You don't want to be exploitive. You want to highlight the things that he liked about this production. This is not only for entertainment, but it's also cathartic. I want you to hear that from them, and then we're going to compare that to what we hear about in the actual movie according to these leaks. All right, what happened? First off, we had merchandise drop, and this was something that also triggered a lot of the conversations and stuff. And part of that was we got our first look at Ironheart, and we see her in what looks like, I don't know, Mach 1 version of her outfit. And then of course we see the Wakanda Forever promotion with all the ladies there, right? And let me also make this very clear. When I talk about Recast T'Challa, that is not a dog whistle for I hate women. That is not code for we don't want black women to shine. That's not what that means. It means we don't want one gender, one character to be elevated at the expense of another. When we talk about recasting, we're talking about elevating both at the same time, because we don't want to feed into this false narrative, this false premonition, this false notion that you can't have both shine at the same time. Because last I checked, in the first Black Panther movie, were we not celebrating the black women in that movie? Were we not sitting here having strong black males and strong black women like at the same time? So clearly they can coexist. So clearly recasting is not going to disrupt the elevation of black women, because they've already been elevated. And that's okay if they continue to be, but it shouldn't be at the expense of other black men, or in this case, T'Challa. So let's knock out that stupid narrative. And it is stupid. It's very stupid, because we're saying you can have your cake and eat it too. In a lot of situations, you can't do that. But in Black Panther, you can. You can have black women shine and you can have black men shine. Surprise. Anywho, let's get to the first leak that came about, and this was posted on Twitter. And I guess I should also mention that I did verify a lot of this, because y'all know I don't really like to do rumors. I don't like to do those things because a lot of times rumors don't pan out, or it's kind of bogus or whatever. But a lot of this I did verify with other insiders. And I'll just say that there's traction. This has legs. This has legs. I know for some of y'all that want to hold out hope, y'all want to be like, I'll just wait and see. Okay. But I'll put it to you like this. Marvel's already screened this movie. Marvel has already screened this movie. They screened this movie months ago with their friends and family. They do friends and family screenings. So there are people out there that have seen this movie. So when inside information comes out, it's not always like, I'm not saying it's not always, bogus, but sometimes these things do have legs, and this is something that has legs. So anyway, let's go to the first one, and this is what we get. In Black Panther Wakanda Forever, Lake Bell, who's an original character, plays a scientist who is an original character. Together with her team, she searches for vibranium in the ocean thanks to a device made by Riri Williams. All right. So far so good, right? Not that bad. So this right here is more than likely connected to what we saw in Avengers Endgame. Searching for vibranium. I'm assuming they doing stuff underwater or whatever. This is probably connected to the earthquakes that we heard. Remember, Koye was like, they're just earthquakes. We're gonna leave them alone. It's not it's no big deal. That's probably what that is. All right. And of course, we know that Riri Williams is going to be a part in this. She is already been confirmed for the movie. For those of you that don't know, Riri Williams pretty much becomes Ironheart. She does have a Disney Plus show that's coming out as well. So this will be kind of like her introduction into the MCU. Super smart. She's basically going to, be in Tony Stark's shadow, basically. But anyway, so far so good. Like I said, she is going to, you can see the little promotional art right there of what she looks like. Now, this is probably going to be the first version of her Iron Man suit, or her armor. I am pretty sure if she does have relationships with Wakanda, if she hooks up with them, I'm pretty sure she's gonna be able to update that. I'm pretty sure. I mean, she's too smart. You have to realize, like, she's not rich. She's from, like, she doesn't come from like a rich family. So she's gonna start off with her armor probably, on a very base level. All right. But anyway, so far so good. They're looking for vibranium. That's no big deal. I would say that this is one of those moments when you actually do need to recast T'Challa. Why? Because contrary to a lot of people that believe that T'Challa's story's already been told, which it has not, because you don't know, how is T'Challa supposed to react to the world now knowing the real value of vibranium? How is T'Challa, as a king, as a leader, how is he supposed to react to the aftermath of opening up Wakanda and now making them a bigger target? Do you know how he would react? Do you know how the Wakandan people will feel about T'Challa for making that decision? Because in the comics, T'Challa versus his people are always an ongoing struggle. Do you stick with tradition? Do you break it and move on to something else? That's not something we're going to see. That's the problem. That's why you want to recast T'Challa, because you don't know what he's going to be like as a leader, as a king, as a husband, as a father. You don't know none of that. His story is not complete. And this right here, the fact that you got these random people, whoever Lake Bell is, you got these random people drilling on the coast of Africa or wherever it is, looking for vibranium. How would T'Challa respond to that? And if you can't answer that question, recast T'Challa. All right. Now let's move on to the next one. In Black Panther Wakanda Forever, Namor asks Wakanda for help, but they reject him. Namor wants to kill Riri, but Wakanda protects her. Riri's first suit is made of cars, but when he arrives in Wakanda, he gets one, or she gets one, made out of vibranium. Okay. All right. So once again, the whole looking for vibranium thing and the earthquakes and stuff, it's probably going to mess with Namor. It's probably they doing stuff underwater. Like, yo, you got Namor's attention, right? And he goes and asks Wakanda for help. He's like, yo, this stuff happening in your territory. What's going on? Once again, where's T'Challa? How would T'Challa respond? Would T'Challa deny Namor? I don't know. Would T'Challa help Namor? What's that conflict look like? Because I can tell you right now in the comics, that conflict is golden. Between two kings, two rulers, that is one of the best rivalries in the comics. And we won't get that because catharsis. But anyway, it does say that Riri's first suit is made out of cars. So, like I said before, that probably explains why, she's looking like that. And she's gonna go ahead and get her a nice little vibranium suit, little nice upgrade. Okay. But man, they want to kill Riri? Yikes. Okay. Let's see what else happens. Oh, wait. Sorry. Nope. They skipped it. So apparently this does not include all of them. So let's go to the full leaks. Hold on. And in the full leaks, it says, let's see, Namor is awakened and okay. Searching for vibranium, and thanks to a device made by Riri Williams, Namor is awakened and kills her team. Namor asks Wakanda for help, but they turn him down. T'Challa passes away from sickness. I want to remind people that Wakanda is the most technologically advanced country in the world in the MCU. They've had medicines and healings and all this stuff that go beyond whatever whatever is already known. What did Nate Moore say earlier in that video? What did he say? Did he not say that we don't want to be exploitive of Chadwick? When you have the character that Chadwick plays die of sickness, whereas Chadwick also died of sickness or cancer, how is that not exploitive? If anyone can answer that for me, I'm not asking a rhetorical question. I'm genuinely curious how taking the real life tragedy of Chadwick Boseman and imposing that on the fictional character of T'Challa, who, by the way, is alive and fine. Last time we left off on Endgame. How is that not exploitive? How? And let me also point something else out to you guys. Because one of my other concerns, and I had this concern a long time ago, and I came across a poll from another website, and the poll was very interesting because it asked the question, what are you most interested in seeing when it comes to Black Panther 2? I wanted to know, what do people want the most in Black Panther 2? They have 4 options in this poll. Shuri or somebody else becoming BP, Black Panther, so, Mantle. Visiting Wakanda again, world building. Namor, or, the next villain. Or a tribute or whatever they're doing to Chadwick Boseman. What do y'all think the results look like? 42%, the winning vote, went to people wanted to see what the MCU is going to do with Chadwick Boseman. How are y'all going to handle his passing? What are y'all going to do in Black Panther 2 to honor, tribute, or recognize Chadwick Boseman? What are y'all going to do? That's what people want to go see. So if that's the number one thing that people want to go see, and for you in your movie potentially to have that character die of the same illness or similar illness that the main actor died of, so you're taking real life issues and you're putting it in your fictional storytelling, which, by the way, you have all control over. There's nothing that's confining Marvel in doing that one route. There's nothing. How many people in here have talked about Marvel could do this, Marvel could do that, Marvel could do this? Well, what if they did that? Which means there are a plethora of other options. You want to know why I started RecastTChalla? Because of that. What did I say was one of the main points in here? RecastTChalla is asking Marvel Studios not to use the tragic passing of Chadwick Boseman as a plot device in their fictional storytelling. So the actor dies of illness, so you got to put the character to die of illness too? Hey, you know what we should do? Superman. We should have Superman fall off a horse and get paralyzed. Happened to the actor. Why not? Not to mention the fact that why the hell would he die of an illness? And what illness can Wakanda not cure? So what? Let me get what he kept it a secret too. Do you mean to tell me, like, because Chadwick kept it a secret from y'all gonna make him keep it a secret from Wakanda too? For what? Why? I thought y'all cared about storytelling. What is cathartic about this? Because I really wonder about that. Some people are saying, like, oh, well, you know, we have to be able to, you know, like, it's a good thing to have a funeral to mourn Chadwick and all that stuff. Like, you do? And here's the other thing. I've told you this too. If we're talking about the story and when it made sense, why don't y'all make this during the blip? Because during the 5-year blip, you know, T'Challa died for 5 years. Did Wakanda not have a funeral for him then? Did they not make memorials for him then? Or did they just kind of forget about him and only do a funeral? What is this? The third time he dies? Or the third time they thought he died? Remember, Wakanda thought he died when he went over that waterfall. They mourned him then. He did die in Infinity War when he got snapped away. They didn't mourn him for 5 years? And now you want them to kill him off again because of illness or sickness. So they're going to mourn again. Why Wakanda got to mourn 3 times for this man? And y'all call that good storytelling? Seriously. For all the people that are out there that are like, you know, I just want a good story. That's a good story to you? Because you want to mourn the actor? And I'm not saying we shouldn't mourn the actor, but we can do it other ways without compromising the story and the character that are fiction. We can go back and memorialize Chadwick with a quick video montage with some kind words. We can do that. We've done it for Stan Lee. Stan Lee definitely made a bigger impact on Marvel than Chadwick did. And that's no disrespect to either one of them. But I didn't see people talking about, hey, we need to go back into the Marvel movies and kill off the old man in all his camp. We didn't need a funeral in the movies for Stan Lee. Stan Lee is bigger than Chadwick Boseman. Chadwick Boseman has said that himself. How is this not exploitive? Because I've told y'all, Recast T'Challa is excuse proof. You want to see a woman on there getting a mantle? Cool. It can happen. Recast T'Challa. You want to see other black characters? Cool. That's fine. Recast T'Challa. How is killing the character again for the 3rd time to make this country mourn again? How is that a good story? How does that honor Chadwick? Didn't I tell y'all before? Last time Chadwick Boseman sat here on, his estate. His estate posted on his Twitter that it was the honor of his career to bring King T'Challa to life. Do y'all know how many other characters this man has played? He's played Jackie Robinson. He's played Thurgood Marshall. Y'all don't think that those other characters mattered? But it was the honor of his career to bring King T'Challa to life. But y'all response is to kill him the same way the actor died in real life. Is that like some sick joke? And I'm not trying to say Marvel's evil. I'm not saying that. I know they got their hearts in the right place, all that jazz. But I'm sorry. Y'all, and I have the other clip for that too if y'all want to watch it. But Nate Moore and them, they said that, hey, it was a quick decision. It was a quick decision from Ryan Coogler, by the way, not to recast. Matter of fact, we're going to play it. Because I know there's some people here that haven't seen this, don't know what I'm talking about. We're going to play this. Hold on. Here we go.
We couldn't do it. I mean, I will say when Chad passed, it was a real conversation we had with Coogler about what do we do? And it was a fast conversation. It wasn't weeks, it was minutes of we have to figure out how to move this franchise on without that character, because I think we all feel so much of T'Challa in the MCU on the screen, not in comics, right? Is tied to Chadwick's performance, is what he brought to that role, both on and off screen, I would argue. So as hard as it is narratively to figure out what to do, because it's a big hole, at no point did we consider recasting him.
They made this decision in minutes. In minutes of hearing that Chadwick Boseman passed away. That's the big decision that they made. To make matters worse, you also have the fact that Chadwick's own brother, Derek Boseman, has come out and talked about this. He said that he believes that Chadwick would want the role to be recast. And my question has always been, if you say that this is a dedication to Chadwick Boseman, then why aren't you doing things more in line with what he would have wanted? I mean, God forbid, but if I pass away and funeral arrangements need to be made, I don't want y'all talking to my boss or my coworkers about what should happen at my funeral. I don't want y'all going to my classmates to talk about what should happen. I want y'all to talk to my wife. I want y'all to talk to my siblings. I want y'all to talk to the people that have known me all my life. Not the people that only knew me for a couple of years. Now, some people might say, well, what's the big deal? Because the family doesn't own the IP. The family doesn't have a say in the movies. You're right. They don't. The family does not control the Black Panther franchise. You're right. But that's not the point of contention. The point of contention is Marvel is trying to dedicate this to Chadwick. When you're dedicating it now to this person, you've taken it to a different level. Because now you're saying, this is what Chadwick would have wanted. This is what respects Chadwick. This is what is in line with Chadwick's wishes. That's what happens when you say this is a tribute. That's the issue. Boseman's family cannot police Marvel in terms of how they tell the story. But the fact that Marvel wants to make this about Chadwick Boseman, now, at the very least, I think the family should have a say. And they have said something, at least on record, that we know of. We haven't heard from his wife or, anyone else. And I'm not saying that we need to, because I want to respect their privacy all day. I only want to go off of whoever has said anything in public. And right now, it's only been his brother, Derek Boseman, and Chadwick's niece as well, who basically backed up what her dad said. And I've said this before. If y'all gonna do what y'all gonna do, which it sounds like you guys are, don't dedicate this to Chadwick. Leave Chadwick's name out of it. Memorialize him some other way. But don't sit here and say, this is what Chadwick would have liked. This is what he would have wanted. Because it don't sound like he would have wanted T'Challa to end. It was the honor of his career to bring King T'Challa to life. How does that sound that you now gonna take that life away? How does that sound? It don't add up. The math ain't mathing. What are y'all saying? Just admit that y'all wanted to do what y'all wanted to do. Just say that. Let me go back to these leaks. Shuri creates an artificial flower to gain the powers of Black Panther and conquer the ancestral plane. She expects T'Challa, but meets Killmonger. He helps her become the new Black Panther. Shuri creates her own Black Panther costume. There. Well, I guess that explains why we have not seen Shuri's outfit, and they only show her in the little jumpsuits because they're probably saving her costume for the movie. I'm sure the costume gonna be. I'm sure it's gonna be dope. I'm sure it's gonna be great. I'm sure. She creates an artificial flower, supposedly, which, you know, if y'all gonna kill off T'Challa, why not use his dead body and use his blood to recreate it? Okay. She goes to the ancestral plane to supposedly meet T'Challa. I don't know what they mean by conquer it. Like, what does that mean? But she meets Killmonger. Well, there go y'all Michael B. Jordan cameo. I mean, actually, I'm not mad about that part. I'm not mad about that because I've told y'all Killmonger is dead. He's dead. And he ain't gotta come back because he's dead. What I don't like here is the fact that none of this was necessary. None of this. You don't need to kill T'Challa in order to make Shuri Black Panther. And the comics prove that you don't. The comics prove that they break tradition, that they break the rules, that they do different things all the time. And I'm not even saying you have to copy the comics exactly, but my goodness, is this really the only route you could take? All them rewrites, and this is the best. Y'all, hold on. If these leaks are true, which I would not be surprised. I'm looking at all the people like I have faith in Coogler. Because I've already showed y'all that just because you have a great movie under your belt doesn't mean that you can keep that ball rolling. Joss Whedon, Avengers, The Age of Ultron, James Gunn, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1, Volume 2, Taika Waititi, Thor Ragnarok, Love and Thunder, Ryan Coogler, Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe it's going to be a great movie for some people. I'm just saying, is this really where you want to put all your faith in? And I say that as a Ryan Coogler fan. Because, like, unlike some people, I'm not a stan for stuff. I'm not like one of those people that give blind faith to other human beings. Only human being that has my blind faith is Jesus Christ. Okay? That's a whole nother story. But I don't give no man blind faith. I will back and support people based off of their resumes. But I need people to remember, Ryan Coogler only got 3 movies under his belt. Fruitvale Station, Creed, boom, and Black Panther. Y'all, some people acting like he's Spielberg already. Some people acting like this, like he Tarantino. Like, he's human. He's not infallible. And if this so far is what he's come up with, is this where y'all putting y'all faith? Hell, even Marvel as a whole, for as great as Marvel has done, Kevin Feige done made mistakes too. They've admitted to making mistakes. So just because they gave you Infinity War and Endgame and some really dope things, don't forget they also gave you some crap too. And not only did they give you some crap, they've messed up some things too. Tilda Swinton, Ancient One. This is by their own self-admission. Let's not also forget that Marvel still promoted the Black Panther, the advertising in China. And I want to give people a quick little thing. So now you might be thinking to yourself like, hey, what's the big deal that Shuri is going to have the mantle? There is no big deal with her having the mantle. The problem is putting the emphasis on the mantle. Because when you put the emphasis on the mantle and not on the characters, now you actually make them replaceable. Now you make them expendable. Y'all really think that Letitia Wright is gonna stay with Marvel after all the stuff that they went through? I don't know if they've repaired things or not, but according to what I've heard, she ain't gonna be there that long. Not too long ago, a lot of y'all was ready to recast Shuri over the whole vaccine and all the other stuff she was posting. That gets real easy to do when all you got to do is cover up the actor with a mask. When you've trained the audience to only care about the mask and not the person, it gets real easy to say, get another actor, get another character. You care about the mantle because of the characters that build them and define them. Do you really honestly think that if Iron Man 1 had Robert Downey Jr., great, as Iron Man, oh man, he passed away. Hey, you know what we should do? In Iron Man 2, let's give it to Rhodey. Yeah, let's make Rhodey the new Iron Man. Not War Machine, but Iron Man. Okay, but you know what? Some things didn't work out with Rhodey, so we got to pass this on. You know who we should do? We should give it to Pepper Potts. Yup, let's put Pepper Potts now in the Iron Man suit because it's just a suit. It's just a mantle. Do you honestly think people would care about Iron Man today if that trajectory, if that formula was used? It doesn't matter what the real life situations were, whether Robert Downey passed away or not, whether you had contract actor negotiations with Terrence Howard or not. It does not matter. I'm just talking about what you see on the screen. Do you think you would care about Iron Man if the iron suit got passed over and over again because it was just a mantle? Do you think by the time we got to Endgame that it was, I don't know, Iron Man number 5 that did the big sacrifice at the end? Do you think people would care? Do you think it would have the same impact than when it did when the Tony Stark that you had a full story arc of in multiple movies, in multiple solo movies of great character development and a full arc actually told? Do you think it would have had the same weight if it was just about the mantle? This is my grievance with the whole issue and this approach. Why are you taking this gamble with our Black characters and properties and our image? And I understand they don't belong to us, so miss me with all that. I know that. But what I will say is this. While we don't own Marvel, we don't own the properties, as I mentioned earlier, what they put on screen, the representation does still affect us. It is still part of the culture. I don't care if it's owned by a white man. I don't care if it's run by white people behind the scenes. Black faces are put on screen. Black culture is communicated one way or another. So in a sense, in a social sense, we do have ownership in that. That's the caveat. Okay? So miss me with all the, we don't own it. I know that. And yes, I know that we can go create our own, but we're talking about this right now. Because the same way a 1920 Birth of a Nation movie can inspire KKKs to go out and kill Black people, a 2018 movie of Black Panther and a world that was never colonized or enslaved, and it was the most advanced, country in Africa, the same way that movie brought a huge sense of inspiration and pride for a whole culture across the world. So that matters. That representation matters. And hiding it behind a mantle is cheap. And I would argue it's not a good formula for success. Did I mention Killmonger is dead? Yeah, he's dead. Okay. Yeah, I just want to make sure that we remember Killmonger's dead. She creates her own Black Panther costume and all that. Okay. In Black Panther Wakanda Forever, during the Wakanda and Atlantis War, Shuri defeats Namor, but doesn't kill him. M'Baku is the new king of Wakanda, while Shuri is the new Black Panther. Nakia tells Shuri that she has a son from T'Challa. Yikes. Okay. So I'm wondering, first of all, is Shuri gonna go through some training here? Just wondering, because the way the story has been developed, she's just a tech nerd. Yeah, she might put on some little gauntlets and go pew pew, but she's not a fighter. She had the opportunity to become Black Panther before, and she didn't want it. But now, I guess she's all the way in there. And I've said this before. I wish that Marvel would have put this movie on hold. And I wish that they should have done to Shuri what they did with Sam Wilson. They should have given her and I have a whole video on this. They should have given Shuri a Disney Plus show to just develop her. Give her more screen time. Let us actually grow with her. Turn her into this eventual person that you want her to be for the movies. So that way it doesn't feel like a cheap and rushed process. She defeats Namor? Some villain. So it sounds like Namor about to be nerfed too. I don't know. M'Baku as the new king of Wakanda? That actually makes sense. That makes more sense because he wouldn't be Black Panther. He doesn't worship the Panther God. That would just be stupid if they did that. Shuri becoming the new Black Panther, I think everybody saw that coming. No big deal. I don't care about that. That's fine. But Nakia telling Shuri that she now has a son from T'Challa. I've already told you guys that the mere notion of a T'Challa Jr. is stupid to me. And it's very problematic. One, and again, this is coming from y'all boy Coogler, because he's the writer and director. Just like how Taika is the writer and director of Thor: Love and Thunder. The problem I have with this is the fact that Black Panther, the franchise, has always been about representation. But not just representation. It was literally created to break stereotypes. The problem is when you had Falcon and you had Luke Cage back there, you had them as stereotypes. They would have, what's going on, man? What up, Jive Turkey? How you doing? Like that was them back then. And they were sidekicks at that. They were not main roles. And because of that, Jack Kirby was like, man, I have Black readers and they don't have somebody that looks like them that they can look up to. And that's why he literally created T'Challa. He didn't create some mantle that Black Panthers, that a bunch of Black people wore and switched off. He created T'Challa, who happened to be the Black Panther, but he created T'Challa because he wanted T'Challa to be that anti-stereotype for Black people. He wanted him to be smart. He wanted him to be strong. He wanted him to be a great leader. He wanted the whole country to be opposite of the Black community at the time. The Black community that was being oppressed because of slavery. Wakanda was never enslaved. The Black community that was being oppressed because of colonization. Wakanda's never been colonized. The Black community that lacked resources. Wakanda's had 20 years ahead of everybody else. And they the richest nation. That's why Black Panther was created. That's why T'Challa was created. So bringing that back to this whole idea of, well, Nakia has a son, so guess what? That continues T'Challa's legacy. And let's call him, I don't know, T'Challa Jr., whatever. Guess what? Another Black fatherless son. Thanks. Because, that's exactly what the Black community needs, right? More broken families. Even if it's because of death, whatever. I'm not saying that people don't have parents that die. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is that you're putting another feather in the cap of that black stereotype of having a black person walk around with no daddy. Y'all just keep killing the daddies off. You had a perfect opportunity where you don't have to do that. But apparently, Ryan Coogler thinks that this is a good thing. And I feel as though this is more of an African American mindset that's not really translating to the hopes and elevation that the Black Panther franchise is trying to achieve. You're taking us a step back. Because ideally, in a perfect world, you would have the black portrayal be pushed forward. What does that look like? And that's the sad thing. Some people don't even know what it looks like. What it would look like is having a strong black male be powerful, stand side by side to a strong black woman right next to him, and they both support one another. That's Shuri, that's T'Challa, both supporting each other, brother and sister ruling together. The richest, most advanced nation on earth. Do you know how powerful that imagery is for other people that are not black? Do you know the fact that we don't need to keep going through black trauma just to tell our stories? Do you know that like some of us are kind of tired of the whole black death trope, and a lot of us who are not black, a lot of people that are not black, unfortunately, they're so desensitized to seeing black death all the time. This doesn't even faze them. This doesn't even, what's the big deal? I just want a good story. Oh, another black man died? Oh, well, I see it every day on the news. We see all this crap on the news all the time. We live this stuff all the time. I don't need T'Challa to teach me about death. I live in Chicago, unfortunately, and I've heard and seen black death all the time. It's not good. I don't need that life lesson. I don't need that in the fictional storytelling of what we're doing, of these stories. It's unnecessary. These are the stories where we actually should escape and see something that we don't see in real life all the time. Wakanda's not a real place, but damn, I wish it was. And because it's such a fictional place, why the hell can't we have our fantasy? We've waited 50 years for this character just to be on screen. And you're going to take him away. And then potentially you about to give him a son that he can't even raise, by the way. So that's another thing you'll never know. You'll never know what T'Challa is as a father or as a husband. But you're going to give us this kid. How old is this kid going to be? Just born? 5 years old? Maybe right after Endgame, boom. Hey, I miss you, Nakia. Let's get it on. I don't know. So at most, this kid is going to be, let's say, 5 years, maybe 8 years or so. How much longer we got to wait till he starts to carry on his daddy's legacy? He too young to even be part of the Young Avengers. How long we got to wait? We already waited 50 years for his dad to show up. So now we got to wait another 10 years, 15 years. We're going to be in phase 7 by the time that kid grow up. Then there was this other big thing in the post-credit scene. Yeah, post-credit scene. They filmed the post-credit with a stand-in Dr. Doom, which is thought to be the one who sent Lake Bell's team in the first place. Didn't I tell you guys? Didn't I tell you don't be surprised if Marvel throws all the bells and whistles to make you forget that T'Challa is not there? How hype have people been for Dr. Doom? I would think that the Dr. Doom hype has been almost equivalent to the hype people have had for the X-Men to show up. He's an incredibly popular character. I wanted Dr. Doom to show up with the Fantastic Four, something like that, you know. But what a way to distract the fact that, hey, we don't have the main character, so throw some more shiny stuff. We got Namor, one of T'Challa's best rivalries. T'Challa's not there. We got Doctor Doom, another great rivalry for T'Challa. T'Challa's not there. It's like, look at this shiny thing over here. We got Doctor Doom, y'all. Y'all like the Doctor Doom, right? Come on now. You like the Doctor Doom? I'm gonna watch this movie because I have to as a critic. And I have to judge it as best as I can. But if any of this is remotely true, which if I was a betting man, I would say good amount of it is. I can't bring kids to this. I can't throw a watch party for this. I can't. I told y'all my very first watch party that I ever threw was for Black Panther. That was the first one I ever did. And I mean, y'all saw me get a little emotional just over Thor Love and Thunder. And even with that, even with Thor Love and Thunder, it was definitely a touching moment. This was one of the best moments I've ever had doing the Black Panther watch party, because the part that hit me the most again was the kids. That was when I think it dawned on me that this is something special. And that's when I started to realize the impact of movies on people's real lives. People came dressed up. People came, I mean, when I tell you the kids were so excited to see this character. I had never seen something like that before. I had never seen kids so excited. I've seen kids excited to go see a movie, but not like this. Just to see the kids show up, and I mean, it's in my video. I don't have it with me, but just to see them show up. Look at me and the missus right there with our fine self. You know what I'm saying? Like, this was a big deal. Yeah, I had my whole Panther there too. Because that's just how you get down for a Black Panther watch party. I will never forget the two things that, one thing that one of the kids told me was, I was like, hey, what'd y'all think about the movie? Like, what'd you like? And the little girls were like, oh my gosh, I love Shuri because, I had never seen like the smartest black girl in the world, smartest girl in the world be black. The little boys running around with their little T'Challa, toys and stuff. I didn't even know they had Black Panther toys. They definitely didn't have them when I was young. But the fact that they had them, I told y'all earlier about me just passing out posters. I had parents contacting me after the watch party saying, do you have any more posters? My kid needs one. Because they want T'Challa in their room. And you think giving a T'Challa Jr. is going to help that little kid be all right? You think that's cathartic? You think doubling down on the memory of Chadwick dying from an illness and having T'Challa die from that same illness, as if these children didn't already grieve about this? Children grieved over this, over the real news. I mean, this was, look at this. My baby boy in the Avengers holding a memorial for Black Panther. That's a kid. So when the real actor died, kids held memorials for Chadwick and for Black Panther. My nephew gave Chadwick Boseman a Black Panther funeral. It's really sad to see kids mourn their idol. May he rest in peace. So Marvel's great idea is potentially, let's do it again. I know they sat here and they mourned the character. Let's do it again. My nephew wanted to give Black Panther a funeral. I'm not crying, you are. Never in my life have I ever seen children mourn something like that. Taking their toys and reenacting this. But hey, it's cathartic. You grieved. You've had time to heal in 2 years. So what we're going to do is make you relive it again. Throw some shiny stuff at you and say, it's okay. He has a son, but he ain't got no daddy now. Cathartic. It's not exploitive. I mean, it's not like Marvel's going to make money off of this, right? Wait. Well, it's not like they're not going to donate the money to charity or something, right? In Chadwick's name. Wait. It's not like the family going to get something for it. But it's all for Chadwick. It's in dedication to him. It's a tribute to him. Right? I want you to just keep all this stuff in mind when you hear people, because I started RecastTChalla early. I started in April of 2021. Production on Black Panther didn't start until June, July. Okay? I did a very, very early forewarning to Marvel. Don't do this. I was looking beyond what was going to happen. I was saying, you know what? If y'all go and do this, this ain't right. The moment they said we're not going to recast, I was like, wait, what? You're not going to recast? And I didn't even act immediately because they said they weren't going to recast back in December. Chadwick passed in August of 2020. December came around and Marvel made this announcement. So anybody saying RecastTChalla wouldn't even let Chadwick be buried in the ground? Nah. Marvel jumped the gun first. Look at the timelines. My man passed in August of 2020. Kevin Feige made his announcement in December of 2020. RecastTChalla started April of 2021. At least I had time to think about it first. I grieved Chadwick. I did. He's like one of my favorite actors. I got to talk to the man for like 6 minutes and I thought I could retire. I was good. Like I made it. I wanted this to be an awareness campaign because I already knew Marvel was going to do what they were going to do. I already knew that. I also already knew that Marvel was going to play on the emotional side of things because that's just how they feel. They're entitled to their feelings. Don't get it twisted. They are entitled to feel however they want to feel. But so are we. We also are entitled to feel how we want to feel. RecastTChalla is a statement. It is no different than me saying Black Lives Matter. If I say Black Lives Matter, does that mean other lives don't matter? No, it does not. That asinine retort, against it, that was always stupid because all it really meant was Black Lives Matter too. So when we say RecastTChalla, it really just means the character matters. It doesn't mean anyone else matters less. It just means T'Challa matters. And what I love and proof of this is that whenever this Black Panther stuff starts happening, what trends? T'Challa. His name trends. That's why I never made this recast Black Panther, because it's not about the mantle. It's about the character of T'Challa. You don't get rid of one to elevate the other. That's not what the franchise is about. I've told you this before. You cannot have inclusion with exclusion. It's contradictory. Marvel trying to dedicate this movie to Chadwick in his name, it's nonsensical right now. Because nothing so far, according to his family, according to what Chadwick has said in the past, nothing coincides with or nothing aligns with the idea that Chadwick would be cool with T'Challa just ending. The whole idea of tying the character to the person, to the actor, Chadwick didn't stand for that. That's not what Chadwick wanted. I've had the videos where I've shown y'all Chadwick wanted people to see the role. He wanted you to see T'Challa. He wanted you to see Jackie Robinson. He wanted you to see James Brown. He wanted you to see Thurgood Marshall. He didn't want you to see him as the only person that can play these roles. It negates the purpose of being an actor. Because according to him, as an actor, he wants you to see the roles. That is his job. So when you sit here and try and tie the actor to the character and nobody else, you're basically saying he didn't do his job. You're saying Chadwick failed in his one job of making you see the character and you can't separate it. Anyway. That's all we got for the leaks. How are y'all feeling about it? How are y'all what do y'all think about it? Let me know in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching. This was just a segment of one of my live chats, and if you're interested in joining in on the next one, be sure to subscribe and turn on your notifications for more. I've got more videos and reviews to do for you all, and until next time, I'll see you all later.